Today's video is brought to you by creativesdothis.com.
I mean, I've heard somebody say, oh, they give their right arm to save their child, to an abductor or something. I'd give my whole body.
And so, around 5:48 was my last text in the morning. I fell back asleep, and then that's when I woke up and she was gone.
It's just after sunrise in Chalfont Valley, California, October the 13th, 2018. A quiet stretch of Highway 6 sits mostly empty. 3 separate witnesses will later report seeing the same thing. A girl walking alone. She's slim and has dark blonde hair. They all say she's heading south. She's not hitchhiking though, nor is she waving to drivers for help. Something about the situation seems off. She's wearing a white t-shirt, grey sweatpants or jeans, and has Vans sneakers on her feet. She has no bag and no phone. A local teacher by chance sees the girl on the side of the road. They slow down on their approach. They watch her for a moment because something doesn't seem right. But then, the girl, Karlie, vanished. A number of people saw Karlie the night before. All of them have a story to share, but somehow they're all different. By the way, this is Dark Case, and you can call me Jack. You are now in the home of rare and unseen true crime cases, of unsolved and unexplained mysteries, as well as other things that you may later regret knowing. And guys, I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but I just want to quickly say that I am human. I also want to say that I do struggle with reading, so my cadence can go a little crazy sometimes. But yeah, I'm not AI. Quick mention for Creatives Do This, a new platform for, well, creatives. Just click the link below and join the newsletter, and we'll send you 10 very special things. It's ideal if you're a working or aspiring creative or artist of any kind. And now for today's silly little question. I want you to try and figure out how many cans of soda you've drank in your life so far. Let me know your numbers down in the comments. And now, let's open up today's Dark Case. Friday, October the 12th, 2018, Karlie Gusé was 16 years old and a junior at Bishop Union High School. She lived in Chalfont Valley, California, a remote desert community north of Bishop, and she lived there with her father, Zach Gusé, and her stepmother, Melissa, as well as her siblings. Chalfont Valley is a remote, high desert town in Mono County, California. It's quiet, isolated, and surrounded by mountains. It's only got a few hundred residents, and it's surrounded by seemingly endless open land. On that evening, Karlie told family members that she was heading to a friend's house. But from what we now know, Karlie didn't just hang out at one place on that night. It's believed that she left her friend's house with 2 teen boys, one of which was her boyfriend, which we will call D, and then they ended up at another spot nearby. Early rumours around this night claim that Karlie had gone to a party on that night, but boyfriend D later clarified there was no party. They were just simply hanging out at a friend's house. According to D, that's where Karlie smoked some green, and then things changed almost instantly. He said that she became paranoid, panicked, and even terrified. She thought someone was going to kill her. She thought she was dying, D said. At one point, D says he tried to hold her just to calm her down, but he says that Karlie physically lashed out. He says that she even bit him on his side, pushed him away, and then ran. And that was out of character according to all available information about Karlie. However, it has been said that she did experience other bad reactions when using green before. Just a little bit of background. Karlie's parents said that she'd been suspended from school recently for being caught with the substance, and it's said that she was even attending counselling sessions for that issue. Some believe that what she used on that night may have been laced with something else. D himself has never confirmed that fact, but it seems that Karlie did. In what would become her final known text message, she told D, "I think the green was laced." But the possibility of that substance being laced isn't the only thing pointing towards a deeper fear within Karlie. At the time, she had reportedly been showing signs of anxiety in the days leading up to her disappearance, and it seems like the paranoia was actually pretty bad. Some of Karlie's friends said that she believed that someone was actually tracking her phone. So it looks like how she was panicking with Dee on that night. It wasn't just one isolated moment of panic. Her distress reportedly lasted for hours. When there's the mention of paranoia in a case like this, I think we have to accept the possibility that it may be well placed, because Dee was the last person outside of the family home to ever see Karlie alive. Other witnesses from the friend's house that evening said that Karlie was spiraling and paranoid. One friend described her as freaking out, and that she was even convinced that someone was going to murder her. She reportedly asked her friend, "Will you call my mom?" The mom in question is stepmom Melissa Gusé. She later said that she received that phone call at around 8:30 or 9 p.m. There are some statements that Karlie also called or messaged her boyfriend during the panic, but if she did, that message has never been made public. Melissa drove out to West Line Street in Bishop, about 14 miles south of Chalfont. By the time Karlie got in the car with her stepmother, she was now completely terrified, and it did seem like she was under the influence of something that she didn't realise she'd taken. Whether it was laced or spiked, whether anyone knew what that substance was, we don't know. However, even the people that she was with that night said that it could have possibly been something stronger than she expected. And I know we've barely started this story, but here is the first real issue. What happened next has been made unclear, and the story starts to fracture. Stepmom Melissa claimed that she picked up Karlie, brought her home, and that she never took her eyes off her. But in later interviews, she admitted that she told 3 different versions of that night. She said, "I told law enforcement one thing, I told the media another, and I told Lindsay, who is Karlie's mother, something else. I didn't know what to do, I was in a panic." But what never changed about the story was this. Melissa said that she found Karlie in a terrified, altered state. She said, "She looked at me with huge eyes and said, 'Are you going to call 911?' I said, 'No, no one's going to hurt you.'" Back at home, Karlie was reportedly refusing food. She was afraid of her cell phone, and she couldn't stop asking if she was going to die. Melissa said that she stayed up all night with her, trying to comfort her. She said she was scared of the music, she was scared of the TV, she was scared of everything. At some point, Father Zach also came in to check on them. Melissa recalled him saying, "Karlie, are you okay?" And Karlie replying, "No, I really messed up." They say that she eventually drifted off to sleep. There are a lot of theories bouncing around online. Some question whether Karlie ever made it back to that house at all. Others question if she ever left it alive. The very next morning, Saturday, October 13th, this is when everything really fell apart. Melissa said that she checked on Karlie at around 5:30 a.m. She said she was either asleep at the foot of the bed or was lying next to her, but this depends on which version you hear. She was right there, I didn't leave her side, Melissa said. But by 7:15 a.m, Melissa said that she got up again, but now Karlie was gone. There were no notes or signs left behind. But what Karlie had left behind was her phone, and that was not a good sign. Remember though, her friends say that she may have believed her phone was being tracked. So this could have been a conscious decision, or she could have been so panicked she just ran off without it. Melissa claimed that she then searched the house, ran outside, that she even drove around looking for her. But while all of this was happening, Father Zach wasn't immediately told. "I was upstairs, I didn't even know she was missing," he said. The Mono County Sheriff's Office was called at 9:35 a.m. From that moment, Melissa's version of events came under scrutiny. One major reason for this is that Melissa had actually recorded an audio clip of Karlie during that night, a clip that Melissa said she hit record on because Karlie was saying crazy things, and she wanted Father Zach to hear it later. At first she said this recording was 7 minutes long, then 8, then 10 or 11. Eventually she said it was closer to 22 minutes. That recording has never been made publicly available, but Melissa summarized it in some interviews, saying, "She says, 'I really messed up, I don't want to go to hell, and I'm sorry,' over and over." She also claimed that Karlie begged her not to sleep. She said, just stay with me, keep talking to me, so I did.
Melissa, do you want to take a shower? Think that'll make you feel better? No? You're gonna kill me. Karlie, listen to what you just said to me. What? You said you're going to kill me. Don't kill me. Why would I kill you? That's preposterous. That's ridiculous. I'm eating the devil's lettuce. You're eating lettuce that I just freshly chopped that I bought from the grocery store. I don't know why. I'm just why you would think it's the devil's lettuce? Because I'm just thinking all these demonic stuff and I can't help it. You're okay. You wouldn't call them? Why would you look at me like that? When you just said you wouldn't, would you call them? 911? If for what reason? If there was an emergency? If there was an emergency, yes, I would always call 911. Yeah. What is this? I don't know. Just don't look at my face. I have to look at you. No, you don't. Is it because I'm ugly? No, you're not. You're beautiful. You're not ugly. I'm sorry. Me too.
But Karlie's biological mother, Lindsay Fairley, she didn't believe any of it. Living out of state at the time, biological mother Lindsay has never accepted Melissa's version of events. Melissa is lying, I know it in my heart, that Karlie did not walk out of that house alive. She believes that Karlie may have passed away that night, and that Melissa and possibly Zach covered it up. Very shortly after the disappearance, stepmother Melissa posted a Facebook Live video. In it, she spoke directly to the camera. She said, "This is a message for Karlie. Sweetie, we're just so worried about you. Please come home." I will include some clips of that, but it's pretty much been wiped from the internet.
Hey everyone, this is Melissa Gusé. I'm posting on Instagram now. My 16-year-old daughter, Karlie Gusé, has been missing since Saturday, October 13th at 7:30 in the morning from White Mountain Estates by Bishop, California. She is 5'7", 16 years old, blue eyes, blonde hair that comes to mid-waist by her belly button, very skinny. She was seen with a white t-shirt and sweatpants walking towards Highway 6, and I'm putting it on here, so please share, repost all the news media, the more the better. It'll be on KTLF 5 tonight at 6 p.m. and we'll also be on Reno News again, and thank you.
The tone struck many viewers as oddly calm and just generally odd. Biological mother Lindsay said watching it made her feel sick, saying, "I watched that video and I knew something was wrong." Even investigators were reportedly unsettled, but Melissa stood by what she did. She said, "Everyone grieves differently. However, bear in mind, this was only 2 or 3 hours after Karlie went missing. So would you really be grieving by that point?" Anyway, back to those conflicting timelines of the first few hours, where there were shifting details and gaps that never get fixed. The exact timings of when things happen seem to shift depending on the outlet, the interview, or the emotion of the moment. And while that early panic was happening, a girl matching Karlie's description had been seen by 3 different people. She was seen walking alone and not far from home. Melissa's inconsistencies are really quite baffling. In her first version, she said that she lay to Karlie until they both fell asleep. Later, she claimed that Karlie had been up most of the night, pacing and acting paranoid. She said she would go to the bathroom, she'd come back, she'd go outside, come back inside, just in and out. That's what Melissa said in an interview in 2021. But eventually, Melissa began telling a new version. Now she said that she actually watched Karlie walk out of the house. And this wasn't during the night, it was after sunrise. And this really is one of the most controversial moments in the case, because she actually said, "I watched her walk away. She had a white shirt on, grey pants or sweatpants and Vans. She was walking towards Highway 6. According to her, this happened around 6 or 6:30 a.m. This was before she called the police. But here's the problem. That detail never appeared in her initial statements to the police. And if it really happened before she called them, why on earth would she not tell them that? In fact, for months, she insisted that she didn't know Karlie had left at all, until she woke up and found that she was gone.
Hey Team Karlie, this is Melissa Gusé. Today is day 9 of Karlie being missing. I'm on here to share more info. I just spoke to the sergeant and they are at a dead end. And now I can release more information about the events. Just lots of questions that I haven't been allowed to talk about because of the investigation. And so I'm here to tell you guys all about it. Friday night, I picked up Karlie from town. She was supposed to be at a football game. She had lied to me and told me that she was at the football game. And when she called me, she said she was sorry. I was with friends. I'm sorry. Can you please just come get me? So I drove to town and picked her up. She was by herself. And when she got in the car, I said, "What's going on? Where have you been?" "I've been with friends. I got high. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please don't be mad at me. I'm sorry." And I'm like, "Smoke?" Like, okay. She was very paranoid. She was scared. And she hadn't smoked in a month. And being a mother, I wasn't going to take her to the hospital. She's high on marijuana. Why would it didn't cross my mind. She was fine. We talked the whole way home. I brought her home. We spent the night. When we got home, she was still paranoid. Almost like extremely stoned. And we got home, and then I had her eat. She had a salad. I made her eat a power bar, and she was just very paranoid. And she wanted me to spend the night with her. So, her brothers were awake, and Zach was awake, and we hung out, and she ate, and then she was like, "Can we go to bed?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Well, can you come sleep with me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not? Whatever, I'll lay with you and watch a movie." And so we hung out for a little bit in the kitchen, talked a bunch, and then her brothers went to bed, and so then I went to bed with her, and then we got up. I had to go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, wash my face. She was by my side the whole time. She didn't want to leave my side. She was paranoid. And still just not thinking, well, maybe she did smoke something that was bad. Maybe somebody gave her something. I don't know. And so we ended up back in the living room with her brothers for a little bit, watched a movie, and she was just still kind of paranoid. And then we went back to bed, and I spent the whole night with her. I mean, I was awake, and then I doze off, and she's just there. She was just hanging out. She was awake. She wanted to paint my toenails. She wanted to color. She wanted to do a whole lot of stuff. And so I was up, and then I would doze off, and I was up, and I would doze off, and she was there the whole time. And I was really scared to put this out there because so many people are judgmental, and I don't want her story to die. And I was so scared just to say anything. And the investigators are like, "You can't talk to anybody about this because the FBI was involved. And if anybody finds out or they get spooked or somebody tips somebody off, then she could be right here and then she could be gone." So this is hard right now because I don't want people to judge her. Kids smoke pot all the time. And so around 5:48 was my last text in the morning. And I fell back asleep, and then that's when I woke up and she was gone. And I wish I wouldn't have fallen asleep.
It's widely believed that the front door was left slightly ajar, so we do have to wonder, was that due to Karlie sneaking out to escape the home for some reason? Did she rush out and not worry about closing it? Or did she just walk out in an altered state and not even consider closing that door behind her? Either way, it was only after the first witness sightings were confirmed that Melissa now claimed she actually saw Karlie walking out. I find this detail alone hard to shift from my brain. I mean, how could you forget that? Talk about making yourself look suspicious. To some, it looked like a story shifting to match the evidence. To others, it was just a mother realizing something that she had previously blocked out. I am unsure, which isn't too surprising because it seems even Melissa is unsure at times too, and she's the one that was there. To throw even more confusion into the mix, at one point she said, "I don't know if it was real or a dream, but I know I saw her leave." Whether intentional or not, the result was the same, a massive question mark over what actually happened on that morning. What we do know is this. Multiple witnesses reported seeing a girl that matched Karlie's description on the morning of October the 13th, 2018. Just in case you're doing the dishes or something else and the dates are confusing, this is literally the morning after Karlie arrived home from her night out. All of the witnesses said that she was walking alone near Highway 6, not far from Sierra View Road. The first confirmed sighting came from a local woodshop teacher. He was driving south when he saw Karlie near the edge of the highway. He said that she was walking southbound. She looked like she was just walking, not running, but she looked out of place, he said. Shortly after, 2 more residents gave separate matching reports. One described her as appearing confused. Another said that she was wearing a white t-shirt and grey pants, which does align with what Melissa described. The sightings placed Karlie less than 300 yards from her home. So knowing this, it sounds like she could have been saved. She was just so close to home that I think if you shouted her, she'd probably still hear it. And that's one of the things that in hindsight is really just so frustrating. Because after those first few witnesses, there was nothing. No more witnesses, no security camera footage, and there were obviously no pings on her phone, because we know she'd left that at home. So now the search was on. Search dogs were brought in, helicopters swept the area, but still nothing. There are reports that search dogs did pick up Karlie's scent, but that only led them down to the bus stop, and that was probably not relevant to that specific day that she vanished. Now, despite how visible this area is, mainly flat desert with wide views, no one reported seeing her again. The road that she was last seen on, Highway 6, is a long and desolate stretch. It leads north to Nevada, and it passes through tiny scattered communities. To the south, it curves back towards Bishop, the last town that she was in the night before. Some people believe that she may have been picked up by a stranger, and I mean that could go a few ways. She could have hitchhiked and started a new life somewhere, which does seem unrealistic. Or we have to believe she could have been taken against her will. Others believe she veered from the highway and walked out to the desert, which is pretty much a death sentence. Karlie's biological mother though, Lindsay Fairley, she has a different theory. She believes that it is possible that Karlie never left home alive. I think from her statements that she believes whoever was walking down the highway wasn't Karlie and it must have just been someone else. She said, if she was seen walking near the highway, then why wasn't she ever seen again? Not by anyone, not by one camera. And well, I think that's a fair question. Those 3 sightings of Karlie on the highway took place between 6:30 and 7 a.m, and they were all within a quarter-mile radius of her home. The first was the woodwork teacher. The second was a Chalfont resident who had never actually met Karlie before. One thing that this witness said that is kind of strange. He said that Karlie had with her a piece of paper. I mean, what was that piece of paper? What was on it? What was it for? Was she maybe going to use it to hitchhike? I mean, it's frustrating, but it's possible we will never know. The third witness was a school administrator, someone who did know Karlie, and they were certain that it was her. She said, "It was Karlie. I know it was. I'd seen her hundreds of times at school." So if we are to believe that statement, it does seem like it blows Lindsay's theory out the water. All 3 witnesses reported the same clothing. which also matched what Melissa said. None of them say that they saw Karlie interact with anyone. None of them saw her running, crying, or signalling for help. And frustratingly, none of them saw where she went next. And this pretty much is what haunts the case. You have a girl by who all accounts had no history of running away. She had no known plan and no transportation arranged. She was seen by 3 different people walking in a consistent direction. But then, nothing. No cars were spotted pulling over near her, and none of her belongings were ever recovered. She vanished within a tiny window of time, on a clear morning in an open desert. Neighbour Ashley Forbes said, "Nobody in town goes missing like this, not without someone seeing something."
Living literally house to house from her, or next to her, it was like having, a sister every single day. Like I said, we'd go to school together, we'd come home from school and we'd, either go to my house or to her house and have a sleepover. I was usually more at her house than I was at my own. And it was like whenever I needed a friend, she was right next door. Whenever she needed anybody, I was right next door. We would have these adventures over by her old house, and we would go out into the middle of the field and build a fort. And we'd be out there for hours on end until we had to come home to eat dinner. And Karlie was the only person that could, go and have fun with me in the middle of nowhere and, have absolutely nothing except sticks and a blanket and still have fun. And that's why I miss her a lot. Being so close with Karlie, and when I heard that she was missing, it really impacted me. 'Cause this little town, nobody goes missing like that. And I miss her a lot. We were actually supposed to hang out the day that she actually got taken.
From the beginning, Zach, Karlie's father, has maintained that he was asleep upstairs on the morning that his daughter disappeared. He said that he didn't even know that she was gone until, that is, Melissa told him at around 7:15 a.m. He said, "I was upstairs, I didn't even know she was missing." Zach has stayed mainly out of the spotlight. He hasn't granted many interviews, but when he does appear, like in the FBI, The Things They Carry documentary, he could arguably be defensive and a little guarded.
I've walked, I don't even know how many miles, just to look for anything, look for something. I mean, and it took me months. And then after about a few months, I had to decide I had to stop. Man, it was rough. It was rough going out there, man. Just because you didn't know what you were going to walk along. Like, the best thing is not to find something. But if you do, just the emotion of the anxiety, the feeling of it, and the depressive part of it while you're going. And I wouldn't stop pushing myself. I just kept going. And, God, just the feeling would be just such a miserable feeling. I can't even imagine explaining it to somebody whose daughter who's been missing for so long, and then to just go out there even a week and to be walking out in the desert. And I mean, it's just horrible. Or a day. I mean, to go through one day was just miserable. It was horrible. I lost it. I lost my mind. It was gone. It was just, I couldn't do it. This is the Bible I leave in here for her. Here's a picture of us when I was hunting. I used to call her my good luck charm when we go hunting all the time. I'd have to force her sometimes to go, but I'd get her to go. And you know what? Like, more times out of not, I'd get a deer, and it was fun, And now this is like her tapestry she put up, and I don't know if you can see these lights. These kind of lights light up, and I know she put those up the way she put them up. And here's her glasses, and just some miscellaneous stuff that was right next to her bed. Phone charger and a little microphone for your music.
There is a moment, however, in that film where he breaks down, saying, "You know what it's like to bury a child in your mind. We live in an effing prison." What I will say though is he does say one thing in his interview, and it makes me think, why are you saying that about your missing daughter? I don't know, the tone of it just seems off. Maybe he didn't mean it in a mean way at all, but I don't know. What do you think?
Because I don't believe she ran away. I think she would have been found. I don't think she's that smart. She was 16. I think she would have been found. I don't think she's that smart. I mean, I've heard somebody say, oh, they give their right arm to save their child, to an abductor or something. I'd give my whole body and soul. I'd give it all up just to have her home safe. That's all I do.
Anyway, there's another layer to Zach's story, a layer that would come to the surface long after Karlie disappeared. In January of 2021, Zach Gusé was arrested by Mono County Sheriff's Office for battery on a spouse or cohabitant, a charge under California Penal Code 243E1. It was a domestic violence incident, reportedly involving Melissa Gusé. The full details of the event weren't made public, but I think it's fair to say that the arrest confirmed that whatever calm face the family was showing publicly, there could well have been serious instability behind the scenes. Zach was released on bail, and the case wasn't widely covered in the media. Still, for many following Karlie's case, it did raise questions. If there was proven violence in the home years later, could there have been volatility earlier when Karlie was still there? Was this a family barely holding it together before the cameras ever showed up? To be clear, like very, very clear, I am not alleging anything. Zach has never been charged in connection with Karlie's disappearance, and Melissa has reportedly insisted that both she and Zach are innocent of any wrongdoing. She said, "We love Karlie, we just want her to come home." But Lindsay Fairley, Karlie's biological mother, she has said that she doesn't trust either of them. And as the time passes, that distrust has only deepened. Now, as I say, I'm not alleging a single thing, but this information does make me think differently about Karlie's potential mindset. Maybe in an altered mindset, the atmosphere at home was enough to make her leave. But what happened after that, who knows?
When me and Zach met, I never thought we would get married and have kids. And when I got introduced to Kate and Karlie, it was like, oh my God, these precious little babies. And then we grew into a relationship and got pregnant, got married, had babies. And when I had my first son, I'll never forget it. The heartbreak on her face. Not because I had a baby, but because we drove her and Kane all the way to Las Vegas to see him. And she had a temperature, so she wasn't allowed to go in and see her new baby brother. And just the heartbreak on her face and in her heart. And she was so upset, like, I can't see my baby brother. But sure enough, the first day when I brought him home, she wouldn't put him down.
It's said that footprints can typically last days in the dry desert dust, and yet not a single footprint was ever linked to Karlie. Not near Highway 6, not around the property, not in the open fields beyond. It's also noted that she took nothing with her that she would if this was a planned trip. Like she didn't take a bag or makeup or anything. She didn't take water, snacks or money. So although some do understandably theorise that Karlie had a substance-induced episode and then wandered off into the wilderness, it's the lack of physical evidence that makes this unlikely. Mono County Sheriff's Office said in 2019, "In that terrain, we should have found something, anything." Now, bear with me here. I want to mention something that I think is interesting, and it's not something that I see other people mention about this case. Perhaps it's something, perhaps it's nothing, and I hadn't even considered this up until now. But at one point during the ground search, a pile of unidentified human waste, the solid kind, was found in the vicinity. It was suspected by some to be human rather than animal. This is a picture of the dog that found it, by the way. However, testing was inconclusive, and no link to Karlie was ever established, but that's not to say that it wasn't hers. One potential sighting came from Tonopah, Nevada, nearly 170 miles away, but that was never confirmed. The FBI eventually offered a $5,000 reward, and the case was featured in multiple national media outlets. Still, no verified sightings, no solid leads to latch onto. So as the years pass, the scrutiny can only turn back towards the house, towards the recording, towards Melissa, towards the missing minutes or hours and changing stories. But without a body, there was nothing and nobody to charge. With no evidence, no confession, no known cause of Karlie's end, if she was ended, means that Karlie Gusé has now been missing since October the 13th, 2018, and her case remains just as unsolved as ever. What do you think happened here? I'd love to hear your theories down in the comments. Today's video is brought to you by creatorsdotthis.com. Click the link or scan the QR code. Join the free newsletter, and we will send you a ton of free stuff that will help to take your creative thoughts and turn them into a stable income and a chilled life. Be careful out there, and I'll see you soon.